So here we go, the new Duotone unit, Nick. Nick, thanks for joining us. Duotone unit, by far and away, personally my favourite wing. It's hugely popular for us here at our shop and test centre.
Yep.
A new one. Why a new one?
Well, as you know, as we speak about with all the products, Duotone, they're certainly not standing still on any level with any product. They're always developing, always trying to improve product, not just to necessarily sell more, but obviously make the experience on the water for the end consumer easier, more fun, better for their money, if you like. I think there's a few elements here that we can talk about. In fact, there's a lot we can talk about. It's pretty exciting. It's one of my most excitable, products that I look at that when I talk to people about. So I get a bit excited and carried away with it, as you can tell.
Yeah.
I think if we look at it, the simple things first, we have three effectively constructions. So it's the same unit wing, as if you like, starting with the original,
yeah,
which is your standard materials, as such. We've got our SLS concept blue, which is the in-between technologies and performance,
which is so striking.
Which is amazing.
I think once it's out in the water and running around, people will be like, "What's that?"
Yeah, because it's just white.
Yeah,
but it does look so different. Then obviously you go to our Modular D-Lab, super duper high end. In our world, there's nothing better on the market than our sort of D-Lab constructed.
It's the ultimate, and it has been for a long time.
Obviously comes at quite a high price,
yeah,
which we understand that not everybody can reach that, as much as we would all love to be on that, I understand, or the company understands, of course. So with our SLS version, that sort of sits between them, price-wise. I mean, on a 5 metre, we're looking at sort of $950, sort of $1180, I think it is, and sort of just under $1,800. At 5 metre level, so that gives you sort of an idea the sort of levels they're at.
Those three price breaks, yeah,
absolutely. And they're not just because of the concept blue design. That's not the price difference at all. Okay, the concept blue, we know that with the undyed Penta TX, etc. All the sort of more eco-friendly products, as when they're building obviously the undyed products.
Well, let's go through each of the wings in their constructed variants. I think just before we do that, there is one massive glaring difference
Absolutely.
as well.
We've sort of kept
about
that
the unit, which we kind of skimmed over very quickly, is the unit isn't just on handles anymore, is it?
No, I'm a unit guy because most of what I do on the wing is riding swells, riding waves when we have those conditions. I do a bit of jumping and stuff, but generally hurt myself when I do that. I'm getting a bit old, but generally it's coming to floating, winging, riding, power. I love the feel of the unit. The only problem with the existing unit, as I've always said, is it doesn't have a boom. Now you can have a boom.
Yeah.
You can have either, as you see, all three, you can come in all the same setup. You can either buy it with, when you buy just a wing, and then the dealer, like yourself, will have either a set of booms to go on your wing, or, a set of handles, or a boom to go on your wing. And you decide.
And we've seen handles on the unit get bigger over time.
The front handle's gotten longer, so
it's shared it with the Ventus and so on. But
yes.
These are brand new handles as well. It's not just a brand new boom system, but they're brand new handles.
Yep.
And the refinement.
Carbon handles, pistol grip at the front on both boom and the handles. So a lot of the guys that are learning to ride waves or downwind, they don't have the confidence to grab sort of on the front flagon handle, which again is also improved, so it's much stiffer, so you get more control over the wing. The wing itself, which we haven't really even discussed yet, is more bottom end power, more grunt, more stability, more draft stability. It's lighter, it feels lighter in your hands, it's not just lighter on the scales, it feels lighter on the water. We've got a new MOD3 S canopy material, which is, the current MOD3 is an 87 gram per square metre. These are 69 grams, so over that, a big wing, that makes quite a difference in weight.
Yeah, so on that material then, so this being here, if you like, let's call it the original.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of construction of the unit, it is running that lighter weight Pentex.
All of them.
That's shared across all of them.
That's an undyed version of it on the SLS concept blue, but the rest are all the same.
So in terms of the construction then of the leading edge, it's everything that we're familiar with in the unit. It's all proven. We know that works.
Got a stiffer panel again, a little bit like what we have in the SLS. Not anywhere near as stiff, but we have that. We have had it for a while, and it does stop the wing from flexing in the middle too much.
Yeah.
We've got a new geometry on the leading edges on all the wings. The D-Lab, obviously the full D-Lab version, is a slightly smaller circumference to the leading edge and actually the boom tube. So that allows the wing to fly through the air just that little bit nicer, a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. So a little bit more performance gain when you get all the way to the D-Lab end. But the original, again, it's lighter. The boom, fun enough, is lighter than a pair of handles. They're the same price. They're £85 whether you buy a set of handles or whether you buy a boom. From 3.5 up, you use the same boom, and then the smaller sizes. So the original and the SLS, we go from a 2 metre to a 6.5, and the D-Lab is from a 3.5 to a 6.5. Some of our guys that all ride D-Labs, they wanted a smaller one. They didn't want to jump from that to an original because it feels a little different.
Yeah.
So now with the SLS, they've got on the smaller size, maybe the difference is not anywhere near as much with a D-Lab and an SLS, of course, compared to a bigger size. Now they've got a nice step when they go from a 3.5 to maybe a 3 or a 2.5 and that really high wind performance, stiffer, lighter than the original, so a closer performance to a D-Lab.
So for us, I really feel, and I don't know how you feel about it as well, but I think the new concept blue and this construction with this kind of, it does represent really good value, I think, when you start to price up against the original, what a full D-Lab is, when you've got some of the Alula fabric in the construction, making those
Everybody
changes.
wants to buy a D-Lab.
Yeah.
Of course they do. Everyone wants that, you know, AMG Mercedes.
Yep.
We know that. Obviously, it's unrealistic to expect everybody to be able to buy that sort of a product. The original, nothing wrong with the original. The original is amazing. It's a much more performing wing than our current wing. It's got all the sort of performance upgrades that the SLS and the D-Lab have. Obviously, it's not quite as light and it's not quite as stiff. The stiffness, the light, obviously we understand why the rotating, etc., earlier planing with the weight, we know that's fairly obvious. The stiffness of materials and the way they perform under pumping in the lighter wings and under keeping the framework of your wing stable for the upper end, so when you're getting overpowered.
Yeah.
So by having the more performance materials allows it not just bottom end, but also top end and everything in between. So it isn't sort of a little improvement, they are quite big steps.
And it's not just vanity, is it, at the end of the day?
No,
there is a very simple reason as to why Alula has been selected to go into this panel, within which to make the whole airframe ultimately
and
much
it's not
more
just
rigid.
This is stiffer, it's obviously the whole front wing is actually stiffer than the original unit.
I think what's really important for somebody to truly understand, now there are these 3 different constructions in our best-selling wing, is it's going to be coming down to try it. Now, I'm biased, you know, we've got the UK's largest test centre down here at Cowshot on the side of our shop. And yeah, I strongly and firmly believe that people must try a product before they go and spend their hard-earned money and
big
invest.
money for all this products, it really is.
Absolutely, it's a big decision, and to make that not only on the advice of people that use the product rather than just regurgitating it out of a brochure, but to come down and do it firsthand. And I know you travel all around the country as well with the Duotone demos and so on as well, but I would strongly advise, you know, everyone to really come down and find out the differences in terms of performance for themselves in the wings, because it is a marked difference, particularly for what is, yes, it is a price jump, but it's a relatively small price jump compared to a full D-Lab. Now, if you are after the ultimate in terms of performance,
if you like.
Yeah, the absolute, you know, top of the line
all
stuff.
singing, all dancing. I mean, it's like I said, the actual leading edge and the sort of strut bladder is narrower in diameter.
Yeah.
Because of the stiffness, rigidity of the Alula material, that allows them to do that, which means it flies through the air nicer, easier, faster. It's stiffer, of course. It's got better bottom end. It's got better top end. It rotates quicker. Basically, it does everything, not just a little bit better. It really is quite a difference. You know, it's an amazing product. It's got the same, as we said, the main canopy material with the new MOD3 S, which, as I said before, from an 87 gram to a 69 gram per square meter. Doesn't sound a lot, but every gram here and there, when you add it all up with the, you know, the new boom and handle system, all the bits that they've added together, makes for even the original is quite a bit lighter than the current unit.
Yeah. But it is one of those wings and one of those constructions particularly that you guys have just absolutely nailed. And not only are they great wings in their own right, but once you start to get it in this construction and really see just how much performance difference and gain there is, it's hard to look away afterwards.
It is, you know, they are expensive. They are insane products when you look at all the advantages. You know, do you need them? Not necessarily. If you can afford them and if you are pushing the limits, then it does make that little bit of difference. And as we know, we only get so much time in the water. Unfortunately, generally, most of us have to work for a living. So our time in the water is limited. So when we are on that water, we want that best experience that we can. We might only be out there for an hour. So we want to make the most of it. We make products that hopefully are easy for you to go on that water, inflate, rig up, put your foils together, etc. Get out there for your limited time and you can have a great time.
And we have found that, I mean, there are a few customers that we've had through the store now that have come back and bought and bought and bought that really do recognise that as well. So they're, if you like, in the quiver of wings that they've developed, their core wing, their go-to wing, there are a number of customers now that have picked up a D-Lab to kind of fill that spot in their quiver because they want that ultimate experience
in their main size.
For the majority of their time. So
well, it really is a great product, you know, and there's many different things we actually even haven't spoken about, like if you look the covers, you know, when you don't put the handles on, you get these little covers that you sort of effectively stick onto it to stop bumping your
So on the handles and the boom, you know, if for example I go off and I get the handles, and then we meet at the beach, you turn up with your wing with the boom on, and I'm like, oh, I'll try the boom. I can change it. It's not like I'm done and I'm invested in it.
No, you literally pull out the little plastic bit here that sort of blocks a hole. You take the torque screwdriver that puts your rear stab foil onto your fuselage. That undoes the screws. You can take it off, put a couple of handles on, or vice versa. So for me, I don't know why you wouldn't have a boom. Personally, I think it may be a 50-ish% either way initially, and as time goes on, it will become probably 80-90% boom, because I don't see the negatives of having a boom. But we will see. You could have a boom for your everyday wing, but you might want to fold it down smaller, which the handles will fold down slightly smaller, not a lot smaller. So the bag that they all come with is sort of folded up and got a clip set at, you know, this sort of size, let's say, depending on what size wing.
For your handles.
For your handles. If you put a boom on it, you unclip a sort of a clip, unvelcro a piece, and it extends itself, you know, another, I think it's sort of 6-7 inches, and then now you fit it in with the boom on. So the boom's 96 centimeters, the bigger boom, which fits from a 3 meter up to a 6.5, and then there's a smaller one for the smaller wings.
Brilliant. Well, we're just thrilled, absolutely thrilled. So thanks so much for bringing them down. They will be in test here at our test centre, really, so on launch from the 11th of September 2024. So yeah, come down, see the real difference firsthand, come out and feel just exactly what the new unit is like. Thanks for watching our video. If you've got any questions about what you've seen, why not give us a call in the shop or head over to thesupco.com. To stay up to date though with all of our videos, well, make sure you subscribe up here and hit the notification bell. But to see our next video, well, take a look up here.